Well, everyone, I'm going to start on a walking stick. I'm going to sit and start this right now. I don't make these for people, so please don't ask. It's just too much trouble to go through to make these. The last one I made was my parents' memorial stick, but this is for my mother-in-law had someone at her church, and she wanted to me to make him one. And I already started a lot on this, like laying it out. And I just all it is a wood dowel. You buy them at Hobby Lobby, Home Depot, anywhere you can buy wood dowels. Well, this is 1.25 inches. And what I did is I already started on it, and I carved, and I put these rubber tips on there. They're like chair tips. You can buy a pack of 4 of them for like $5 or something. And sometimes they do crack and split. You can just take it off and pop another one on. They're really easy. And what I've done is, if you can see, I don't know if you can see the layout of it. There are lines or twists going all the way down. And then his name is David. And you can see I started carving out the D. And how I did that is I used to use press-on labels or stickers and then draw around them and take it off. But what I do now is I print out like the text, the font that I want, and I put carbon paper behind it, and I tape it on there, and I draw it in. And the Jesus fish, he wanted the Jesus fish on there too. And I didn't even start on the handle yet. I got the handle laid out. I got to carve out the top. But I'll show you step-by-step process, because I already started it, and I was like, you know what, I should do a video on this to do for David in case he wants to see it, or anybody else who has an idea for making a walking stick. This is poplar. I believe it's poplar. I don't like to use it. It's the softest of the hardwoods. I would like to get an oak one, but this was it's lighter. It's lighter, and you want to make sure get it to the right height that they are. You don't want it too short and too long. So I have that all figured out, and I had to cut the bottom off, and that's about it. So let's go outside, and I'll get a close-up of me carving this out with what bit I'm using and what tools I'm using. So let's get to that. Okay, I have a Dremel 3000, and the bit I'm using, it's right there. It's actually a square bit. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get it in frame. It's a square bit, and I'm going in, and what I want to do is carve it a little deeper on the inside, because what I'm going to do next with this is going to be, I'm going to try something and hopefully it works. So I'll carve it out, and then I'll go back and they also sell round bits too, so let's get on with this. I'm using a Dremel 3000 with a flex shaft. And these too, these are magnifiers. You hang them on your head. So just take some time. Take your time, because you don't want the bit to jump or wander. Just go real slow, because if you go too fast and you push too much pressure on the bit, it'll get hot and then it'll dull a lot faster. So just take your time. Alright, I got it all carved out so far. So far so good. Now I have to go back and sand it with some maybe 150 sandpaper, and it cleans up whatever fray. This wood will fray a lot, and then just sand it and it'll clean it up, it'll look a lot better. Then it'll go back with maybe a grinding bit, like a diamond bit, and then it'll clean up the edges a lot better. See? There you go. And I'll keep going at it for a little bit with the bit and clean it up a little bit more, and then I'll see you on the next step. Okay, that's about as good as I'm going to get it right here. I got it all carved out, and I carved it out deeper in the ends like a triangle. So what I have to do with this is I'm going to melt down some silver and pour it in here, and it's going to fill all this in, and then I'm going to sand it all smooth so it'll be level and it'll be silver inlaid. So let's get on with that. Alright, this is the silver I have, and it's pure silver, and this is MAP gas. I think propane will melt it too, but I'm going to heat this up and it won't take long. And I'll just pour it over the whole, pour it over the name and everything, and see what we get. I don't know if I have enough. Nope. I'll let it cool down and make another pour. Well, that proved to be a fail. It will not stick in there, not stay in there. I don't know if I carved it deep enough or what, but it just pops right out. So I'm just going to have to use another method that I usually use. All right, now on to the next step. I'm going to put the twist in here, and the bits I'm going to use, it's little sanding drums you can get for your Dremel, different sizes, or different. This is a 1/2 inch, I think, and then they have the 1/4 inch. I'm going to use this one, the coarse drum first. So here's what it looks like. Right here. And the nice thing about these is you don't have to open the screw to get this out. You just pop it up. Well, let me show you. You pop it up. Ah, I just broke it. And it expands and keeps it tight. But when this happens, you can always push it back on. Like this, watch. It'll go back on there. It makes it so much quicker and easier to put a sanding drum on there. You just pop it on and push down and it locks it on there. So let's get on with this. So I got the lines drawn out. Take your time. Don't rush it. Don't go too deep. Just get the first initial line started. And work your way. As you get wider, it'll be easier. Alright, this is how far I got so far. I went down through it, and I'm going to have to go through on a couple more passes. I'll use a finer grit, and maybe I'll put a small one right in between these and go all the way down. I don't know. I don't know yet. So just keep on plugging away at it. I've been working on it for about, I think, a total of about 2 hours. So from the laying it out and everything, it's about 2 hours of sanding right about now. Alright everybody, what I want to do now is I'm at work, and I'm going to take a finer sanding drum, and I'm going to go up in between each one and clean them up a little bit and make it more even, these flutes more even on the inside and on top too. And what a good thing to do is to mark all the way down, put a mark on there so you know you already done that one if it's sanded off, so you don't get mistaken for one that you already done and you're going to be working on it. And it'll make it too wide, and then you're going to be in a world of mess, and you have to figure out how to fix it. So I put marks on all the way down it, so you know. And the tools I'm using, I mentioned before, I had a Dremel 300, and I did a review on a Dremel 3000, and it's the same exact thing. I don't know why Dremel's doing that. And I'm using a flex shaft. It's where it connects to the Dremel, and it works a lot easier. And I have this chuck in here. It's like a drill chuck. I did a review on that. It makes it so much easier to take them out instead of you looking for a wrench or something. It holds the thing better. I like it. It's a lot quicker to change the bits in it. So let's get to sanding this down. Alright, I got as good as I can get it. So now I'm going to take my little sanding drum. These are hard to find. Walmart, you have to buy them at a kit. They never sell them singles, and it's a pain in the neck. I think I go to Ace Hardware and get these. This is a coarse drum, and I'm going to go in between and make a small groove and fill this one in, and we'll work with that then. Well, let me get you caught up on a couple of things that I've done. I finished this handle. I took a sanding drum and just carved grooves in it about the same depth, and I just went back and sanded it down. I worked on the top. I'm gonna have to go to Hobby Lobby and get something that'll fit in there for the topper. And I filled up the back of this. Instead of having just something empty on the back, I put some little twist parts there. And now I marked them off, and I'm gonna take a wood dowel and wrap some sandpaper in it, and then I'll go up and hand sand this. I'm gonna start with 60 grit. That'll take a lot out of the sanding drum marks out of there. So just, you know, you just want to take your time. I use this because it matches the groove pretty good. Even the big one, it's not that bad if you wrap it up and just sand away. So that's what I'm going to work on next and get that sanded. This doesn't have to be perfect at all. This is going to be covered up. So let's get on to sanding. Oh, and you also, I mentioned it before, put pencil marks so you know where you already sanded. So you ain't gonna sand the same thing twice. If you sand it off, I'm sure you'll see that it's, but when you get through finer sandpapers, you ain't gonna really tell the difference. But this is the first sanding. You can even use your finger too. I mean, your finger will work, but it doesn't get it as good. So this works pretty good, a little bit better. All right, a quick update. I got it all sanded with the 80 grit. This is what it goes all the way down. And when I look for a stick, I look for the straightness. It doesn't matter to be straight because it's going to be a walking stick, but the color as well. There's like dark color in this wood and stuff, dark and light. And when you go through the different grits of sandpaper, you'll start seeing more of the grain, like the colors and different pieces of the wood and stuff. It's pretty cool though. So on to the next one is 100 grit. Well, here we are. I'm on the final sanding. I'm all done. So now what I have to do is put a stamp on it, what number, my name, and a date. I usually carve them in there, and the stick number will be on the bottom. And that'll be the next step. So I got some punches that I bought them at Menards for a couple bucks, and I stamp them. They're stamps. You can use them for metal or wood or anything. It's so much easier than instead of carving my name in there. And then we'll go on to the next step. All right, my next step, I got the date and everything. I don't know if you can see that, and the stick number. That's how many I have made over the past, I don't know how many years. But I was on a morning news show. It's oh god, it's pretty old. It's in my videos way back, and I was on there for Hobby Week, a local radio or a TV show. But now what I'm doing is I'm masking off where I want to keep just bare wood. That's all for the next step, because this I don't want it covered with spray. So I'm going to spray it, and then I'll peel this off for when I wrap it. The glue will have something to hold to. So that'll be there we go. Alright. So now I take this out. This is a Helmsman clear gloss. This is Minwax. There's another Minwax I use. This is spar urethane. And sunlight, rain, moisture, temperature changes, it has it all on there. So it's probably like $8 a can. So I'll probably use this is practically a full can. So now how I hang it up, I don't like to use a brush. A brush will put bubbles in it, and you'll end up sanding and sanding and sanding way too much. So what I do, I used to put a screw down on the bottom, but I got the number on there. So where I'm going to put the top part, I'm going to screw this in there, and I'm going to just tie something around there and hang it up outside, and I'll spray, and I'll just go up and down real light, make one coat, and then sit there because it'll soak it in really fast, and then I'll do another coat, and then I'll bring it in and hang it up somewhere until that cures, probably about 15-20 minutes. And then I'll take it out again, and I'll spray it again, I'll bring it in, I'll keep doing that probably 5, 6, 7 times, probably until I use the whole can. So let me get a screwdriver and screw this in and look for some wire. I almost forgot what I have to do is fill in his name, and what I'm using is just regular craft paint and a stiff brush. So I'll show you how I do that. I usually put it in a bowl, but I'm okay today. I put one coat of seal on here, so it will be okay, easier to sand off, you know, the excess paint. But get a stiff brush, don't get a not stiff brush, and just go in. You don't have to be, you're not painting a masterpiece here, so just take your time and push it all the way down in there. You might have to go twice, because sometimes this paint, when it dries, it shrinks a little, as odd as that is. Come on, give me some paint. I should have put it in the cap. There's some in the cap. You know, just work it in there really good to get all the nooks and crannies. And this will actually, me putting that finish on here, will actually sand off the excess paint a little bit easier, because it's not soaked into the wood as much. I mean, it is easy to sand off as it is, but it's let me get my glasses on, see if I got everything. I can't really see that good. Yeah, I see some places I missed. Alright. I think we might be good. And when I sand it, I'll show you how I do that, and it's pretty easy. It's, you know, self-explanatory. So let's wait for this to dry. Alright, so here we are. I got some sandpaper. There's some sandpapers that I like much better. It's called Gator. They sell it at Lowe's. It's much better than this 3M stuff. It's stronger and it lasts a lot better. And let me sand this for you. It's going to clog up the sandpaper a little bit. I should have went with 100, but this will work for now. So there you go. Now I'm gonna, I went back to 100 grit. Now I'm gonna go up to 150 and then 220 to finish this all off. So there you go. All right, I'm putting the last coat of this on here. This is what I do. Spray a light coat. Don't go too far. And I'm trying to get it as even as I possibly can. But this is what I do, how I get it done. This is probably number 5. And the can is almost empty. There you go. Now take it in the house and hang it up and let it dry, and then go on to the next step. Alright, here's I have this, the top. I took this to work and I sanded that off and everything, and I painted it. I don't like it. My wife found this one at her work, and she brought it home, and it fits much better. It fits perfect. Look at that. It's not too big. It's perfect size. Now for the glue that you want to use, you can see the shape of that. That'd be like an anchor down in there. You can use whatever glue you want to use. You can use hot glue. You can use silicone even. I wouldn't recommend wood glue, because that's a big cavity in there that you have to fill up, and it'll take a long time to cure. Pretty much all like JB Weld would be a good one, but it's going to take a lot of, it ain't going to take that much JB Weld, but it's a good one. And one glue I will not use anymore. I'm probably going to throw this bottle away, because I've used this on an antique rocking chair one time, and it says in the instructions on the back, it says to moisten the surface because it cures with moisture. And when I did that rocking chair, it foamed and expanded, and it says expands 2 to 3 times the amount you use, and I don't want to be cleaning off foam around this thing here. So I'll just glue this in with some other glue and on to the next step. Alright, now what I have to do is this tape that I had on here, I'm going to cut that off, and I could buy this, you buy this suede by the roll, and it's usually like $10 for a, oh god, quite a bit. And what I'm going to do is just start it down here. I'm going to tack it in with one of these real small nails. It's just like an insurance policy to hold it in place. And as I wrap it, I'm going to put some glue all the way up, and I'll wrap it with the glue so it's nice and tight. And then at the end, I'll put another nail to hold the end in place. The glue I'm using is this stuff. I got it at Hobby Lobby, $3.99 for this little bottle. It's for leather, so I figured it'll work. So you just go up a little bit farther than you really need, because it takes up pretty quick. It sets okay fast. I can never keep it in the center. It's just I'd rather have more on there than I need, because I hate keep going back to the glue to put more on there. So, and put a little bit on there, go up about 1 inch, and then the problem here, twisting it and pulling it tight, and hold it with your thumb. Now, as you're twisting it, it's going to mess up the rest of the cord. It's all going to get twisted and tied, and you're going to have to straighten it out every once in a while. But just pull it tight as you go. And this usually takes about a half an hour, and your thumbs really hurt afterwards. But you got to get it done. Well, I'm all finished, finally finished, and here's the top of it. I like that top much better than the one I found. And here's the suede that I wrapped it all in and used the glue and his name and the finish all the way down. It kind of looks, if I spin it at a certain rate and bring it down to, you know, anyways, the tips, like I said before, you can get a 4-pack of those for like $5, but that's it. Alright, David, I hope he likes it. You know, you could put a lot of miles on a walking stick. You know, it'll bring you years of uses, stabilizing you when you had a few drinks, and even poking stuff. Anyways, there you go, and thanks for watching.